Hey, friends. All right, so I wanted to come on and talk about karmic family. For those of you who have been following my healing journey know that I recently disconnected from my karmic family at the end of last year. And so I've been going through the process of healing my heart and cutting cords and just moving in my strength with the situation, right? And so last night it was heavy on my spirit to just put in karmic family and see what ChatGPT had to say. And what came back, even though I know that this was my karmic family, Spirit has been very, very clear that the connection needed to sever for my best and highest intention. It's still hard. It doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt. I'm a human being who has compassion and whose heart moves in love. So I would be lying to you if I said that it wasn't hard. But each day, it's ebbs and flows. Some days it's very easy and I feel like I can move through it. And then some days it's like grieving what I have had to let go of. And so last night it was something about seeing those words. I've done research on karmics and karmic families. I've done lots of reading on it. And maybe it was just the position of where my emotions were, but it hit me hard. The way that the words were written last night hit me in a completely different way, where it got really heavy last night and my heart was very heavy with the situation. It started bringing up all types of emotions, missing my karmics, missing and grieving what was, grieving the ideal of what I wish had been. Is all part of the grieving process, right? And that's normal. So as I read all this and it got heavy and I went and processed it, because it was just kind of like sealing it in that this is what this is, and like really closing things out, right? Really cutting the cord and really facing it for real. So Spirit told me to just come on and share some information about karmic family, that this can help someone, okay? All right, so the karmic family. A karmic family refers to a group of souls you're connected to through past life experiences, often brought together in this lifetime to resolve unfinished business, learn deep lessons, or complete karmic cycles. These connections can feel intense, challenging, and even painful, but they serve a purpose in your soul's growth and evolution. And that is the truth, right? It might feel like you're being rubbed the wrong way, but when you look at it, at the end of it, it really brings out the best in you. It might not feel like it, but there's definitely lessons to learn in it, right? So some signs that you may be in a karmic family. 1, you feel obligated to stay connected even though the relationship drains or harms you, because you need to choose yourself. And if you're feeling guilty for cutting that, you need to pay attention to it. Number 2, patterns of emotional manipulation, guilt, or control are common. Number 3, you often feel like a black sheep or scapegoat, misunderstood or misaligned with the family's values. I know for myself, I never fit in. My viewpoints were too rebellious. They were too outside the box. To them, because of me trying to be myself, it was always interpreted that I wasn't holy, that I was just so wild and so far away from reality, when really that was not the case. I was just trying to be myself and find my way in life. 4, cycles repeat. Trauma, abandonment, betrayal, or rejection may show up over and over. I know for myself, there was constant sit downs, trying to fix it, try to move through it, to constantly, months, weeks later, end up in the exact same place, no matter what was said. It was always like walking away with no understanding, to find out that when you thought it was cleared, or that you were moving in another direction, the things just somehow, in some way, you end up in that exact same space. And that shit is draining. It's frustrating, and it can be overwhelming because you can feel the loop going over and over and over and over and over, right? 5, you've had to shrink yourself to maintain peace. That's usually you not being able to be yourself. You not being able to be your authentic self because they have a problem with it. No matter what you say, you're too much, you're too this, or whatever it may be. You can never, ever occupy space as yourself, because when you do, it's a problem. And your peace is consistently and constantly disrupted. Number 6, healing comes when you finally choose yourself. Even if it means going no contact or setting boundaries that feel drastic, right? I know for myself, the minute that spirit said, cut it loose, I found the power in myself. That's when I really started to love myself, because I realized that I wasn't asking for much by trying to be myself, to be able to express myself. I'm not asking for much to want deep conversations, to have understanding, nor to have validation, right? And so I know for myself, I was constantly trying to set boundaries for myself that were constantly being stepped over. For everybody else, those boundaries needed to be honored. But when it came to Patrice, everybody was slipping and sliding all over my boundaries. It just did not seem to care. So for me, I had to go drastic. I had to go no contact. That's social media, telephone, everything. Because at almost about to be 47 years old, the cycle of driving me crazy, making me feel like something was wrong with me, making everything was always Patrice and her children, Patrice and her, Patrice, 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 Patrice. It was never anybody else, ever. It was always somehow my doing in the background. And no, I'm sorry. Karmic families are often not your true soul family. Their purpose is to trigger you into remembering who you truly are by pushing you into awakening of boundaries and liberation. And like I said, after I read all of this, it hit me. Like in the middle of reading this, like I got probably through the first paragraph that was talking about the karmic family refers to the group of souls. And by the time I got halfway through that, I was crying because I already knew this. But it was like in that moment, the way it was worded, to see 6 things back to back perfectly to what I was going through. It was like, Patrice, you're not crazy. You're not delusional. You did not make any of this stuff up. And I promise you that you're not either. Okay? Choose yourself, love yourself, trust yourself. Okay? Choose yourself, love yourself, trust yourself. Because when you choose yourself, that's because you love yourself. You choose yourself because you love yourself. And when you love yourself, you are going to trust yourself. Like I said to you before, I realized I didn't love myself the way I thought I did when I started going on this healing journey and really started facing my shadows and really going in and facing the hard shit. I thought because I kept myself nice that I smelled good and I looked, that meant I was loving myself. No, I was talking to myself like a piece of shit. I was treating myself to the core of myself like a piece of shit. I had no high, like I had all these goals for myself and be like, oh my God, I want to do this. But I could not even believe in myself enough to stand in the things that I needed to do for myself, to love myself, to find myself, right? And once I shut that door, because I believe in myself, because I love myself at some level, right? Or I wouldn't have chose myself. My higher self and spirit would not have told me to shut that door because they knew what I needed, even if I didn't, right? So I don't know who this is for, but somebody needed to hear that, because spirit really wanted to make sure that I got on and I shared that. But again, choose yourself, love yourself, trust yourself. Because when you choose yourself, you love yourself. And when you love yourself, you trust yourself. I love you.